Oh boy, this is going to be difficult. So, hey everyone, how's it going? I did a poll on my YouTube asking what games you wanted to see more of, and by far, you guys voted that you wanted to see a HeartGold SoulSilver run, and this worked perfectly for me because one idea I've had for a very long time is trying to beat a game with Spinarak and Lediba. The reason why is that before I was on YouTube, when I was a kid, the challenges I used to do in most games were bug-type team challenges. Not a Nuzlocke, just a normal bug-type team, but I found it really fun. That said, my Pokemon always used to evolve, and I'd use a full team, so I was very curious how Spinarak and Lediba, some of the only early game bug Pokemon that actually get access to a bunch of moves, I wanted to know how they would do in a full game playthrough. And so, I'm going to combine both those ideas, and we're going to try to do this. Now, I'm going to start off by saying I'm not optimistic. Spinarak's stats are abysmal, having almost an identical average to Zubat, and we all know how bad Zubat was in the one run I've done with it. I actually want to use Zubat more, but one run at a time. Its move pool is okay. I mean, by Generation 4, most Pokemon have decent move pools. The one problem I see is that it doesn't get a powerful bug move, and that's not amazing, but overall the move pools in later gens are pretty good. So with all that said, this is going to be a long video, so let's skip right ahead to Falkner. Knocking out the Pidgey was simple enough. Even with Sand Attack, it was just a 3 KO with Poison Sting. As for Pidgeotto, I mean, yeah. That didn't go very well, and yes, we are using Poison Sting, but referring back to Spinarak's move list, unfortunately it's going to be a very long time before we get any kind of move that would be better than Poison Sting. And that's going to prove to be a pretty big problem. Like in my red and blue runs, this leaves us with just one option, to try again and again, and to keep leveling up until we eventually win. At level 16, we did quite a lot of damage to Pidgeotto, and that was helped by the fact we got a tackle miss. Unfortunately, even with that really good luck, we weren't able to come close to knocking it out. Not close enough. So my plan now is to level up, and after I've gained a level, try to battle Falkner again and see if we can either get lucky, or if there are some more beneficial ranges, something like that. I can tell you right now, level 17 isn't going to cut it, because Pidgey is still a 3 KO, and since it does spam Sand Attack, we need it to be a 2 KO at best. After Pidgeotto easily knocks me out, you're going to see I don't even try to battle Falkner again, it's back to the grass, and when I gain another level, I'll come right back. Alright, now I'm at level 18, let's see, it's going to be a 2 KO, so obviously I'm still going for Poison Sting, it is the best move, and it's looking to be about a 2 KO, it is. That's really good. Now Pidgeotto uses Gust, it looks like it might be a 3 KO, which is really good. I go for Scary Face since attacking first will be kinda good, and I get super good luck because I'm at low HP. Pidgeotto thinks Tackle will knock me out. And by using Tackle, I'm going to get another turn to attack. We actually get Pidgeotto to relatively low HP, but Falkner, I believe, does have a potion. And obviously, it's not low enough that even a crit would have really mattered. We would have needed maybe 2. So it looks like we're going to have to go all the way to level 19. I'm going to spoil this one for you. Level 19 really doesn't change very much. But I will say that I'm very glad this is in Generation 4 and not Generation 5, because it's only taking at 4 times speed about 6 minutes to level up, as opposed to in Generation 5, where the experience points scale based on your level, so it might take 10 to 12 minutes. That would be pretty bad, but it looks like we're going to be going to level 20. By this point, I've actually stopped battling wild Pokemon and just try Falkner over and over again, hoping something good is going to happen. Against the first Pidgey, eventually I'm going to use Poison Sting, and Tackle actually is better. We're going to knock it out, and we will hit level 20. And it's at this point, everything changes, because we now outspeed Pidgeotto, and that's huge. Poison Sting looks to be doing about 20%, so it'll be a 5-hit KO. Gust still does pretty decent damage. It should. It's super effective. You can see that it's not quite at half HP after the second Poison Sting. Gust is lowering my HP further, but I should have at least 2 more hits left. Now, as it turns out, it's a speed tie, meaning a 50-50 chance who goes first. This time it was Pidgeotto, and like I predicted, I have 1 more hit left, This time I poison Pidgeotto. I wish that would have happened earlier. But if I outspeed, I actually will win. And I outspeed. That took a very long time. How long? An hour, 7 minutes, and 30 seconds. I oftentimes state that Falkner is one of the easiest first gym leaders in all of Pokemon, and yet, when you play with a Spinarak, he is anything but that. While I'm grateful to be finally past him, I'm not entirely convinced that the difficult part of the run is over, because even Bugsy might prove challenging. Scyther is a very powerful Pokemon, and we only outlevel it by 6 levels, if you can believe it. Scyther goes for Quick Attack and gets a critical hit, so this battle is going to be a loss, but Poison Sting's doing like nothing. I go for Shadow Sneak, which will be useful against Rival 2's Ghastly, but it's not doing much more, and Scyther knocks me out with more than half HP remaining. Sure, it got a crit, but that is looking pretty scary. So let's just try again. Maybe we won't get a crit against us. So Scyther goes for Focus Energy, and we poison it the very first turn. Unfortunately, it gets the crit due to the Focus Energy, and even though it's poisoned and we continue to use Poison Sting, we get Scyther pretty low in HP, but not low enough to be close to winning. And we're almost definitely going to need to level up more. I mentioned Rival 2 earlier. There actually aren't many trainers left for me to battle, so let's go battle him. He should give me a ton of experience points. He leads off with Ghastly. I go for Shadow Sneak. It's a 1-hit KO. The next Pokemon, though, is Quilava, which might be a problem. Quilava goes for Leer, and I get a clutch Poison Sting Poison. I then opt to go for Shadow Sneak since it will deal more damage, and it goes for Leer again, and I think I'm going to knock it out. One more Shadow Sneak, and I get by Quilava. Awful move selection, but I'll take it. I go for Shadow Sneak against Zubat. It goes for Bite, not a big problem, and we've beaten Rival 2 fairly easily. We've leveled up to level 24, but I don't think that's going to be enough to beat Bugsy. Not based on what we've been seeing. I decide to try again anyway, and it went just about as well as you would expect. I go for Poison Sting. It actually went for Leer, but then Quick Attack gets a crit, and yeah, I mean, I'm not doing enough damage. It's just simply not going to work. After 6 more losses, I decide to backtrack through Union Cave and battle whatever trainers I forgot to on Route 32. And then just kind of hope, because there aren't many levels I have left to gain unless I want to go back to beating up on wild Pokemon that don't give much experience points at all. Alright, well after all that, I do manage to gain a couple levels and I battle Bugsy again. This time it immediately goes for Quick Attack. I want to get the poison, but I don't get it. It's doing about 20% though, same as the Pidgeotto. It's almost like we're playing Gen 1 again, because Scyther gets another critical hit. That is a 6.25% chance, and we're going to lose this one. It's not looking good. Unfortunately, like I said, there aren't many options left, so I have to just try and battle Bugsy a few times. Maybe I'll get a little lucky. This time Scyther goes for Focus Energy. I go for Poison Sting, but I don't get a poison. Goes for Quick Attack, no critical hit. I go for Poison Sting, and I do get a poison. That's really good. Scyther is a Citrus Berry, so that's going to give it another 30 HP. Shadow Sneak does do more damage, so I'm going to go for it. It goes for Quick Attack. It's faster, so it goes first. I go for Shadow Sneak. It goes for Quick Attack again, and I knock it out with a crit. All right, we should win. Metapod and Kakuna are the final 2 Pokemon. They shouldn't be too much of a problem. I try to get a poison on Metapod. It goes for Tackle. This Spinarak has the Swarm ability, so Leech Life is going to do a ton of damage now that I'm below 1/3 HP. I gain a bunch of HP back. Don't quite knock out Metapod, but that HP should make this a victory versus Kakuna, especially now that the Metapod is healed and I can keep using Leech Life. After all said and done, I'm going to have 39 HP, and that should be more than enough, considering Kakuna's only attack is Poison Sting, a very weak attack, as you guys know. That is not very effective against Spinarak. Now, I was unable to use this against Scyther, but I go for Sucker Punch. Kakuna was going for an attacking move, and I knock out Kakuna. For those of you who don't know how Sucker Punch works, it always goes first. However, that's only if the opponent was using an attacking move. And 2, you may have seen this earlier, but when Scyther uses Quick Attack, since they have the same priority, Scyther's Quick Attack will go first because Scyther is faster, And Sucker Punch will fail. It is base 70 power, so that's really good, my most powerful attack, but I need to be very careful when I use it, because if they don't use an attacking move or quick attack, then it just does nothing, which obviously would be bad. And speaking of things that would be bad, we have to fight Whitney. And Whitney is almost universally known as one of the toughest gym leaders in challenge runs in any game. Considering how bad the battles versus both Faulkner and Bugsy have gone, I have very low hopes about this Whitney fight. She leads with Clefairy. I go for Poison Sting and get the poison. It goes for Metronome and gets Wish. Wish in a turn from now will restore Clefairy's HP by 50%. So it's a pretty good move. Now, I try to go for Sucker Punch, but unfortunately Metronome is considered a status move. But Clefairy gets Lunar Dance. Oh my god, you may have never seen this move. It is exclusive to Cresselia. It will automatically knock out the Pokemon using it, but the next Pokemon will get their HP and power points fully restored. Very good in some competitive battles, but not here. That's hilarious. And now Wish will activate on a full HP Miltank. Miltank obviously outspeeds. It goes for Stomp. I try to get Poison on it, but it didn't work. I then opt to go for Sucker Punch. It does way better damage. Again, Miltank uses Stomp. I go for Sucker Punch again, and hey, that's a range to knock it out, but I think Whitney might heal. It obviously went for Stomp, and Super Potion. Alright, we lost. Sucker Punch fails. And honestly, I'm pretty surprised we haven't seen Rollout. Okay, so that was what I was worried about. Since I'm a bug Pokemon, yeah, that went better than the last two. I mean, we did almost beat her on our first attempt, but almost doesn't really mean that much. To be honest though, that's not the reason I feel a little more optimistic. The big reason for that is there are a ton of trainers around Goldenrod City, unlike Azalea Town, Route 34, Route 35. There are an abundant number of trainers. National Park has a lot of trainers. That is a ton of experience points, a ton of levels, and that should really help with Whitney. Alright, so I'm at level 33 now, and my move pool looks a little bit different. We're going to go for Leech Life as we've deleted Poison Sting, and we get a crit. We almost knock it out. Clefairy goes for Thunder. Great. But thankfully, Clefairy is going to heal, and that means we're going to restore almost all of our HP. Now, Clefairy goes for Mimic. That's pretty good. And we're going to knock it out with Leech Life, and we're at full HP. Not too bad. Alright, we're going to go for Sucker Punch. Miltank goes for Stomp. Again, Sucker Punch, and now it has only a sliver of HP remaining. Miltank goes for Stomp. Pretty sure Whitney has another potion. I go for Leech Life. I was correct. So maybe we're going to win here. I go for Sucker Punch. Even if it goes for Rollout, which it doesn't, we're going to win. Oh my goodness, second try victory. What is going on? Whitney, the most difficult gym leader typically, was an absolute cakewalk. I mean, yeah, we're almost double her Miltank's level, and a lot of that comes from Gold and Silver, where movesets weren't as good. But still, I will 100% take that. 3 gym badges. We've been at this for 2 hours, by the way, just so you get an idea between how much longer it takes to do a run like this than my Gen 1 runs. 2 hours, even some of the most difficult Pokemon like Pikachu just took over 2 hours of real time. So, Spinarak is on a totally different level. Now, we're going to skip ahead a little bit. In Gold and Silver, this fight is optional, but in HeartGold SoulSilver, which is based more on Crystal, this fight is mandatory, and it was very, very, very annoying, because even though we can knock out Ghastly really easily, Quilava just kept going for Smokescreen, and thus Sucker Punch kept failing and eventually missing. And that illustrates pretty perfectly why Sucker Punch can be a really good move, but also a really terrible move. Of course, to be honest, we don't actually need Sucker Punch to beat Rival 3. We do get a bit of luck here, but you can just use Shadow Sneak, both on the initial Ghastly and on Quilava. The critical hit obviously helps a little bit, but, I mean, it didn't actually do anything. This fight ended up being more annoying than difficult, to be honest. Zubat ended up confusing me, and that made Magnemite, which already resists every one of my moves, a little bit more of an issue. But just as I say that Sucker Punch can be a bad move, it ended up being a pretty good move, and we got a clutch hit in order to win and defeat Rival 3. People who are used to modern Pokemon might be surprised that Steel is resisting Dark and Ghost, but I believe that changed in Generation 6. Before that, Steel was even better as a defensive type than it is today, and it's still the best defensive type, which is crazy. However, one type that typically isn't super great defensively is Ghost, and we're going to battle the Ghost-type gym leader, Morty. Morty leads with Ghastly. I go for Shadow Sneak, and it's a 1-hit KO. Shocker. I'm actually not sure if I'll one-shot Haunter. I do. Pretty good. 2 down. Gengar I probably won't. Only half. And Citrus Berry, and it puts me to sleep. Ah, I see you've learned from Agatha. And the truth is, even though I don't think this has Dream Eater, it does have Shadow Ball, which is now a special move. And yeah, I'm actually going to lose to Morty. Crazy. Or not. Okay, we woke up Sucker Punch. All right, there's a chance. All right, I'm a little worried about Shadow Sneak not knocking out Haunter. Sucker Punch hit. Very good. Look at that. Spinarak got a first try victory. Again, we're almost double the level of the gym leader's Pokemon, but hey, we're playing as a Spinarak. Cut me a little bit of slack here. Now at this point, we actually have some options of who we want to battle next, but honestly, I think it makes most sense to go in order right now and battle Chuck, the fighting type gym leader. Now, we've leveled up a bit since there are a lot of trainers on the way. Primeape goes for Double Team, and Psychic, which we actually learned via level up, misses. Primeape uses Double Team again. Psychic hits, does about 3/4, so Primeape might heal here. In hopes that it doesn't, I go for Shadow Sneak. Ooh, he didn't heal, but I miss. Leer, whatever, not a big deal. All right, please hit. No. Oh, it has Rock Slide. Oh, I survived, but I think this battle's over. Come on, another miss. Hooray. All right, let's try that again. All right, let's get some better luck here. So once again, it goes for Double Team. I go for Psychic. This time, Shadow Sneak hits, and we level up to 43. We get Poison Jab, so I'm going to delete Shadow Sneak. I don't think we need it anymore. And even though Psychic is super effective, I'm going to go for Poison Jab. I have way more invested in attack, and it does a lot of damage. I get the Poison. The Citrus Berry activates, and that means one more hit, we knock out Poliwrath. It goes for Hypnosis and misses. Very good. That was actually my 3rd try. On my 2nd try, I missed Click, which caused a loss. So I guess the 2nd try where I actually did what I meant to do, I'm going to say good enough. Now, we just talked about how great Steel was defensively. I don't feel like battling Jasmine, so I have to do the awful Team Rocket part, and eventually, once I'm done with all that, I can battle Price. So because we had to battle so many trainers, we're at level 48. Poison Jab, one-shot Seal. So that's 1 down. Next comes out Dugong, quite a bit bulkier. We use Poison Jab and almost. Aurora Beam doesn't lower attack. I think Price is going to heal. Unfortunately, I misclick and use Sucker Punch, which doesn't work because Price healed. And that means Dugong is likely going to get to hit me again unless I crit, which I don't. I get hit again, and so I have way less HP than I want to for Piloswine. Now, Piloswine is part ground, so I go for Poison Jab even though it's resisted. Does decent damage, get the poison, but even though Blizzard has a 30% chance to miss, we don't get that, and we lose. Alright, so pretty easy way to improve on that. Let's try it. Seal comes out first once again. It takes me a few seconds to actually attack it, probably because something interesting was happening on the stream I was watching. But eventually, we will use Poison Jab and knock it out. Now, as long as I don't use Sucker Punch for no reason, we should win. And a critical hit will make that even easier. So we're at full health going to Piloswine. Best case scenario. I go for Poison Jab. This time, I don't get the poison, and Blizzard hits. It's doing under half. I go for Poison Jab again. This time, it does get poison. Citrus Berry activates, which is pretty bad. Blizzard hits again, which is obnoxious. But I do have an idea here. Rather than going for Sucker Punch, I'm going to go for Dig. That means I get an extra turn of poison damage, and we do enough to knock out Piloswine. In Generation 4, Dig has been buffed to 80 base power. It was 60 in Generations 2 and 3. So that's really good. And as you may have guessed, this is not the only battle in which Dig will come in handy. Jasmine has 2 Magnemite and a Steelix. Dig should one-shot Magnemite. It's the Steelix I need to worry about. Alright, well we out-level the Magnemite, outspeed the Magnemite, and as I predicted, one-shot the Magnemite. Steelix might be more of an issue since it's very defensively bulky. I'm going to go for Dig. It misses with Screech, and we're doing about a third. Steelix goes for Darude, which is fine. I go for Dig a second time. It misses with Iron Tail. That's what I'm scared of. Heals with a Citrus Berry. Iron Tail hits. 30% chance for Iron Tail to miss. We're not getting very good luck with that. Alright, well, we have to continue to use Dig, and now please miss. Nope, not a miss. So we need a little bit better luck if we're going to beat Steelix. Also, maybe a crit because Jasmine was going to heal there. This might be bad. As it would turn out, it was bad. I mean, I'm only going to show you one more loss, but there were 6 others that pretty much were identical. Obviously, beating the first Magnemite is trivial, but unfortunately, due to Steelix's high defense, Citrus Berry, and Iron Tail just seeming to hit way more than it should, I could not get past the Steelix a single time. After you lose 6-7 times in a row, you start to realize maybe you're not at the right level for this battle. And unfortunately, Spinarak as a physical attacker, with not the best move pool for Steelix, there's not too much more I could really do other than level up. Thankfully, exclusive to HeartGold SoulSilver, there are some new routes that lead to the Safari Zone, and some trainers on those routes that we can battle. You actually can also catch a wild Steelix here, something I did not realize when I did my catch 'em all. So, fun fact about this route. Well, after battling all those trainers and any others I left at the Lake of Rage and around Mahogany Town, I battled Jasmine once again. This time I'm at level 51. Obviously, Magnemite isn't going to be any different. It's all about how much damage we deal to Steelix. Alright, so we dodge an Iron Tail, we hit, it's not doing much more. Iron Tail at least is doing a little less, and we don't get a defense drop, so maybe this'll work? Alright, so this time it uses Sandstorm, and we hit, and okay, it is definitely doing more. Unfortunately, apparently Iron Tail is a 100 accurate move when the opponent uses it. What's going on here? And we can't get hit again or we lose. I don't think Dig will knock out Steelix, so we're going to have to probably try again. Oh, okay. I guess I didn't realize how much Dig was doing. That seems unlikely, but okay, I think we win now. Or do we? Because, uh-oh, I think Sandstorm's going to knock us out. Wait, does Sandstorm hit if you're underground? Oh, it subsided. Yes, we win. All right, well, I don't know what to make of that battle. That was kind of all over the place, but yay, we did it. 7 gym badges with just a Spinarak in a Gen 4 game, which is harder. Not too bad. We are going to gain a whole bunch of levels because now we have to do the Radio Tower Team Rocket section. Man, I wish Gold and Silver didn't have these sections. They're so tedious. Thankfully, that's just a me problem. You guys don't have to watch any of that. We're going to skip all the way ahead to the final gym leader, Claire. Actually, let's skip ahead just before Claire because I absolutely hate this puzzle. It's not difficult whatsoever. It just is kind of tedious. I don't know. I think people really like it. Maybe because I'm doing a challenge run and the Team Rocket part was so terrible. For the record, Rival 4 was a first try victory in case you were wondering. But yeah, I don't often play HeartGold SoulSilver, and all the puzzles the gyms added, I really didn't enjoy them. But maybe you guys do like them, so that might just be a me thing. However, speaking of changes made in HeartGold SoulSilver, Claire leads with Gyarados, something she did not have in Gold and Silver, and the Gyarados has Intimidate. So my attack is lowered, and that's bad. Gyarados outspeeds and goes for Dragon Rage. That's exactly 40 damage, and how much does Poison Jab do? Oh, it actually does a fair bit, and we get the poison, so likely Gyarados is going to be healed here. But just in case I'm wrong, I'm going to go for Sucker Punch, and hey, I was wrong. Nice. Good to hedge your bet. So that's 1 down. Alright, so Claire still has 2 Dragonair, so I don't know which one this is. Hopefully Poison Jab one-shots. It's so close. And, oh, it's a Fire Blast Dragonair. Perfect. Alright, now I'm sure Claire is going to heal. Yep, there's Hyper Potion. So we are going to knock out this Dragonair, but likely we're not even going to make it to Kingdra. Oh, well, I guess we will, but I expected the other Dragonair, so my bad. I'm not sure what I was thinking there, because obviously Kingdra's going to outspeed me, and yeah, that's not going to work. You can see it's really close to knocking out Dragonair with the single Poison Jab, And while I don't think the Gyarados is realistic, there are some trainers south of Blackthorn City, and I'm gonna need to level up. What can I say? Unfortunately, the White Herb would be super useful, but it is not available until we get to Kanto. So unfortunately, we have to do this battle with 50% less attack. Alright, so now I'm at level 60, and maybe now it's gonna be possible. Gyarados leads, goes for Dragon Rage, Poison Jab does decent damage, I go for Sucker Punch, and I knock it out. Same as last time. Now we go for Poison Jab. Oh, we don't knock it out. And, Thunder Wave is actually worse than Fire Blast. Yeah, I'm going to have to reset. We can't be paralyzed. It's just going to make this too dumb. I was curious, though, if maybe Poison Jab was a range, so I battle Claire again at my current level. The Gyarados fight goes identical to the first 2 times, so we're going to knock it out. And here is the moment of truth against Dragonair. Please, no! We get the poison, so we're going to knock it out in 1 turn, but we are still paralyzed. At least we're going to get to see how much Poison Jab is going to do to Kingdra. Hopefully, it goes for Hydro Pump. Oh, we survived. And, okay, I mean, that's all right. Unfortunately, with the Citrus Berry, that's going to be a 3-hit KO at least. And even if it misses with Hydro Pump, yeah, this battle's not going to be a victory for me. Alright, but I was ready to stop messing around. I battled all the remaining trainers, got some rare candies, and then battled Claire again at level 67. So, now we use Poison Jab, we knock out Gyarados, but that was only due to a crit. 1 down. We're easily going to knock out Dragonair because of the crit, but we would have anyway. Kingdra is still doing over half with Hydro Pump, and unfortunately it hits again. And yeah, even at level 67, this is not a guarantee. But all is not lost. Let's just battle her one more time. So, Gyarados, we probably won't one-shot without the crit. We don't, but Gyarados is going to take one of the Hyper Potions. We use another Poison Jab, and we can use Sucker Punch to knock it out. Dragonair should be a one-shot. It is, even without the crit. Now we need some good Hydro Pump luck. We do not get it on turn 1, and we don't get it on turn 2. Oh my god, can we please? Alright, well there's nothing else to do other than retry. I have the Poison Barb equipped, I have tons of attack. We just have to battle Claire until eventually we get a miss with Hydro Pump. It's gonna happen, right? Alright, let's try that again. Poison Jab, Dragon Rage. I'm gonna go for another Poison Jab. It's gonna heal, obviously. And we're gonna go for Sucker Punch, knock out Gyarados. Dragonair number 1, we're gonna go for Poison Jab, we're gonna knock it out. Please cooperate, Kingdra. Oh, this time it went for Smokescreen, and oh! We got a critical hit! Nice! And we're gonna hit and knock out Dragonair. Very nice! Okay, that works. Now, I know some of you are about to get very, very, very annoyed, but I did reset because that crit was so lucky. And I'm just gonna spoil it. I won again. Also due to luck, but you see, sometimes if you get lucky twice, it's the game telling you, alright, Jairus, time to move on. And how do I get lucky this second time? Well, the first Hydro Pump hits, and we get another crit. I mean, what can I do? I didn't get a single Hydro Pump miss, and I got 2 crits in a row. So, I think in the end, I actually ended up net positive. But yeah, I know you guys hate when I reset. I do want to show a somewhat consistent strategy, but I do acknowledge for Pokemon like Spinarak, it's not that important. I mean, who is really going to do this run? And we're not even at the most difficult part yet. I mean, I don't even know if that's going to be the Elite Four. It's definitely going to be Red. There is some disagreement whether these challenges should end at Lance or at Red. To me, I've always believed the first credits were fake-out credits and that the true ending was Red. I never considered that to be post-game because there was a badge counter. It just felt like that was content intended, unlike other post-games where, other than the Battle Frontier that's clearly its own thing, there's no real way to track progress. But regardless, this video might end up being very long because of Kanto, so I'm going to skip ahead to the 5th rival battle. It's right before the Elite Four, and sometimes can be difficult. Alright, so he leads with Sneasel. I go for Pin Missile. Sneasel outspeeds me and I miss. Then he withdraws and goes into Golbat. A really good swap. We hit 3 times, but Golbat's easily going to survive. Thankfully, I'm so much at a higher level. Poison Jab, even though it's resisted one-shots. We knock out Golbat. We're able to outspeed Kadabra and one-shot with Pin Missile. Only 18 base power, so that's 2 down. Typhlosion we outspeed. We go for Dig. That is 3 down. I don't know if Haunter's going to set up Curse. I go for Sucker Punch, and good call. That is 4 down. Well, now I'm outspeeding Sneasel. 2 hits with Pin Missile knocks it out, and there's just 1 more remaining, a Magneton, and I think you know how this is going to go. Unfortunately, this is a case where Rival 5 is just a little under-leveled, only level 36. That's kind of crazy for what should be the end game. It is what it is. The Elite Four still should be plenty difficult. I am a little nervous because the first Elite Four member, Will, is a Psychic type Elite Four member. I'm a Poison type, I have a weakness, but let's see how it goes. Thankfully, I'm able to outspeed Xatu number 1 and Poison Jab one-shots. Xatu doesn't have a lot of defense, so that's really good. Unfortunately, I'm not able to outspeed the second Xatu. Psychic almost knocks me out, but at least Poison Jab still does knock out the second Xatu. That's 2 down. Now, based on that, I don't think I'll outspeed Jinx. I go for Sucker Punch. Its defense is terrible. We knock it out. 3 down. I'm below 1/3 HP, so I'm going to go for Pin Missile. It's not doing that much, so I'm going to have to hit quite a few times or get a crit. So we would have needed 4 hits to knock out Slowbro, even with Swarm. That's not great, but hey, we made it past. Executor is double weak to it. I wonder if a one-shot. Close. It's always a minimum of 2 hits with multi-hit moves, so we would have knocked it out regardless so long as we hit. But okay, Will's looking alright. I mean, Slowbro may be a bit of a problem, but hilariously enough, Koga might be an even bigger issue, considering I don't have many great moves to hit some of his Pokemon like Crobat. And yeah, I'm not really sure what exactly I should be doing here. Fortress with Explosion could be a problem, but there's really not much else I can do at this point. It's not a big deal if we lose. Let's just go battle Koga and see how it goes. God, that was bad. Alright, well the first Pokemon is an evolved Spinarak, an Ariados. I'm going to go for Dig. It goes for Spiderweb, which misses, and we don't one-shot. It doesn't do all that much to me. Koga's going to heal. I go for Poison Jab. And I think I might be able to knock it out with Poison Jab. Actually, it's going to swap into Venomoth, and that did a ton of damage. Alright, critical hit, that makes sense, but that still would have been doing about half to Venomoth. That's pretty cool. Go Spinarak, you're awesome. Crobat, however, is a flying type, and this could be a problem. Sucker Punch will do the most damage, but it goes for Double Team. I was worried about that. You know what, let's just keep spamming it. Another Double Team, a third Double Team, and Wing Attack did a lot. Now we're out, and that was pretty bad. Okay, so Koga, as we predicted, and it was the Crobat I was most worried about, might be a little bit of an issue. But it's not just Koga who could be a problem. Will might be one as well. You see, with a better strategy, we can easily knock out the first Xatu, and we can use Sucker Punch as long as it doesn't use Confuse Ray. That'll easily knock out the second Xatu. Jinx, we saw Sucker Punch will do fine, and you might notice I'm losing HP. I'll talk about that in just a second. But you'll see that since I'm not in Swarm range, 2 hits with Pin Missile, by far the most common outcome, only does about half. Now, why am I losing HP, you might wonder? I have the Life Orb equipped. And in fact, in order to get the Life Orb, I actually have to catch Ho-Oh and then go to a secret room in the Ruins of Alph. And in that room, you can get a Life Orb. In these challenges, I'm allowed to catch whatever Pokemon I want, so long as I don't use them in battle. And the Life Orb, for 10% of my health every time I attack, I deal 30% more damage, which is really good. In this battle, which you're seeing, I actually go for Sucker Punch, and even with Life Orb, it does not one-shot Slowbro. So, yeah, Will is not easy at my current level. And in fact, the best strategy I have at my current level involves not using Life Orb. And I'll explain why in just a second. So against the first Xatu, Poison Jab one-shots, but we're not going to use Sucker Punch. We're actually intentionally going to take a bunch of damage to put ourselves in range of using Swarm, because that's going to make Slowbro the most consistent. We're going to use Sucker Punch against Jinx, and against Slowbro, we're going to use Pin Missile. And I was thinking it might be a range for 3 KO. It might still be, but you can see that if we're at a bit of a higher level, Slowbro should be consistent with a 3-hit Pin Missile. Unfortunately, Silver Powder isn't available at this point in the game. That would boost my bug moves by an additional 20%, but alas, not something I can easily get. So we're going to have to probably level up a little bit to make Will consistent. But how about Koga? What plans do I have for Koga? Well, on Sundays in the Pokemon Mart and Goldenrod, you can get the TM for Return. Return with Max Friendship, which I have, has 102 base power. A little bit more powerful than Sucker Punch, which is 70, or Dig, which is 80. And we can even use the Silk Scarf, which I do have, by playing a bunch of Voltorb Flip, or the Life Orb, which will boost all my moves by 30%, including Dig. So I think I'm going to use the Life Orb, and let's see how it goes. The first Pokemon obviously is Ariados. We outspeed, and we one-shot. Nice. One down. Crobat was the concern last time. I'm going to go for Return. It goes for Double Team. We hit. Oh, that's okay. I mean, probably going to be a 3-hit KO. It goes for Wing Attack, does a lot of damage, and oh, well, if we get a critical hit, it'll definitely be a 2-hit KO. Not bad. Honestly, now I'm worried I won't have enough HP for Life Orb. Hopefully we do. Alright, so I'm just going to use Return against Venomoth. We one-shot, but it's going to be close. And, oh yeah, Fortress is next. It's not going to be close. We're not going to one-shot this thing. Even if we did, we don't have enough HP. I can't do math, apparently. Eventually, I just started leveling up a little bit, hoping it would make this battle a little easier. I'd lost to Koga 4 times by this point. It was clear that Life Orb simply wouldn't work. I wouldn't have enough HP. So I'm using Silk Scarf, and we still knock out Ariados in one hit, even with the slight reduction in our base power. Return misses the first time, the second time, and even the third time, but it hits the fourth time. Koga's Citrus Berry activates, Wing Attack hits, but we thankfully do hit and knock out Crobat. Venomoth stands no chance against Return, and now it's up to Fortress. We use Dig, it misses with Swift, we're doing about a third. We use Dig again. Swift hits, it's going to heal, and I'm going to go for Return when it heals because it gives me an extra attack. I go for Dig, and it hits again with Swift. It's actually going to go for Explosion, which is perfect because Muck is weak to Dig, and we have just enough attack to knock out Muck and to make it past Koga for the very first time. Now, I know we like to make fun of Bruno a lot on this channel, but this is definitely the best version of Bruno if we exclude rematches. This team is pretty okay, and while our matchup isn't terrible, I definitely don't think it's great, and losing is a distinct possibility here. I'm most grateful for the fact Hitmontop doesn't have Intimidate, because that would have been terrible. We do outspeed and one-shot with Poison Jab, so that's one down. Dig is thankfully super effective against Onix. I don't know if it'll one-shot. It goes for Darude. And we knock out Onix with one Dig. By the way, Darude is a band that makes the song Sandstorm. I'm hilarious. Yeah, very funny me. Hitmonlee outspeeds. It goes for Swagger. That boosts my attack greatly, but I'm confused. I don't get hit in confusion, and I knock out Hitmonlee. In fact, if I don't hit myself in confusion, this is actually going to be really, really easy. Now, Hitmonchan's a little slower. We do outspeed. Ah, there it is. That's why Swagger is such a double-edged sword. And Fire Punch, it is a physical move, so we did lose to Bruno. It took me a few more losses against Koga to make it back to Bruno, but eventually we do, and I think if we didn't get hit by Swagger, we possibly could win. So Hitmontop is going to be as easy as last time, one shot with Poison Jab. This time I have the Life Orb equipped, so that could help me a little bit. We're going to go for Dig, it's going to go for Sandstorm, we knock out Onix with Dig. Now, I did level up a bit, and we outspeed Hitmonlee. That's really good. I think we win. Hitmonchan's a little bit bulkier than Hitmonlee, but we one-shot, and now all we have to worry about is Machamp. Will Life Orb Poison Jab one-shot Machamp? Well, I guess so with a crit. Who cares? Second try victory against Bruno, and we've made it all the way to the Dark-type Elite Four member, Karen. And Karen I was really concerned about because she has a Houndoom. And this Houndoom obviously knows Flamethrower, and I think we might have to level up an absurd amount just to get past this. I don't really see a creative way of doing that, but we're already here, might as well try, right? She leads with Umbreon, that's very bulky. We almost one-shot with Poison Jab. It's poison, Synchronize won't work. It goes for Double Team. Ah, it just survives. That's unfortunate. Unfortunately, Karen uses Full Restore, so I don't even have the benefit of Poison. I just go for Return. Does quite a bit of damage. I then go for Poison Jab and knock out Umbreon. Truth be told, I'm expecting to lose this battle. I don't want to waste my PowerPoint restoring items. Like I said, I fully expect to need to level up, but we'll see. All right, well, next is going to be Murkrow. We do outspeed and we one-shot with Poison Jab, but here comes Houndoom, and yeah. I mean, it's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Truth is, we might not need to level up as much as you think. Houndoom has 108 speed exactly, and as we level up to level 77, we have 102 speed. It is precisely for this reason that I didn't bother saving between Elite Four members, because at this point, I am just going to battle them in order to quickly gain experience points. You can see the strategy is changing a little bit. We outspeed every single one of Will's Pokemon and can one-shot the first 3 with Poison Jab. Slowbro we can't, but it actually tends to go for Curse as opposed to Psychic. And with Slowbro being far easier to defeat, we've gone from Will being someone who has stopped 80% of my runs to someone who I almost defeat every single time. Considering we haven't gained all that many levels since our first attempt, I'm pretty happy with this result. Koga, on the other hand, is far more random. Just because we don't knock out Crobat in one shot, and Wing Attack is just such a devastating attack against Spinarak. I simply can't predict how much HP I will have if I defeat Crobat at all, and without enough HP, the Fortress, which is often a 2-hit KO or more, will knock me out with Swift, and that's exactly what happened here. But it's not a big deal. I have tons and tons of money. I just simply take my experience points and keep going back into Elite Four, gaining as many experience points as possible, trying to level up until we get 108 speed. So you see here we have 106, and we have just defeated Bruno. This is the second time I'm battling Karen, and my expectations are extremely, extremely low. I am going to use a potion, well, actually multiple potions, because I don't really care about those. But I am expecting to lose, so no restoring power points. Let's just gain a little bit more experience and maybe win? We're going to go for Poison Jab against Umbreon, and unfortunately it still doesn't one-shot. That's really annoying because we can miss, but eventually we are going to knock out Umbreon, right? Oh no. Come on. Really? Am I going to lose to Umbreon? 9 HP. All right, we knock out Umbreon. Hooray. It doesn't really matter. I mean, at the end of the day, Houndoom's going to outspeed. I went for Sucker Punch. It actually does pretty decent, almost half, but even a crit wouldn't have knocked out Houndoom, and yeah, we just need 109 speed. After a few more runs through the Elite Four, including one more that made it to Karen, I am going to get 109 speed after this one. So we're just going to see if my strategies have changed at all. Will, I can tell you right now, is exactly the same. We might even one-shot Slowbro. It is a range at this point, and we don't hear, but the poison's going to knock it out. And there we go, 109 speed after the Slowbro. It looks like we're going to be able to get past Karen, but Koga might actually stand in our way. It's funny that Koga might be the bigger problem because he is just so darn random. But thankfully, since I am at a much higher level, perhaps he isn't as big a problem as you might think. We're going to knock out Ariados with one return, not bad. Crobat, we don't outspeed, we miss again. Wing Attack hits, we do hit with return, and it's going to be a 2-hit KO. I try to go for Sucker Punch, but I miss. I don't miss the second time. We have no HP remaining, maybe enough for one Swift from the Fortress. Speaking of which, I'm going to go for return because I'm worried about Protect. Unfortunately, in trying to predict what Fortress will do, I get hit by one extra Swift, and we aren't going to be able to knock it out. It actually took 3 more losses against Koga, but eventually we make it back to Karen. And like I just said, I think Karen might end up being easier. Poison Jab, one-shots Umbreon. Murkrow, we know we're going to one-shot with Poison Jab. And we should one-shot Houndoom. I'm going to go for Dig just to be safe. Easily going to one-shot. It's super effective. Now remember, Gengar, Dig can't affect it because it is levitating. And, I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna, oh no, I can't hit Gengar anymore. No, it just used spite. Oh my god, that's horrible. So, yeah. This Gengar knows Spite, Focus Blast, and I'm out of moves. So I'm going to use Struggle, and I'm going to knock out the Gengar, but Struggle takes away 1/4 of your total HP. We almost won in spite of that, but I'm going to be honest, I did not see Spite Gengar ending my run. Oh my goodness. But I actually have a plan here. Let's try this again. Okay, so against Umbreon, we're going to use Poison Jab. We're going to one-shot. Not bad. Murkrow, you already know what's going to happen. And Houndoom, probably Poison Jab could one-shot, but why take a risk? Let's just go for Dig. And now you might see instead of Return, I have Thief. And Thief doesn't one-shot. So let's go for it again. Maybe it's a range. Oh, it's so close. No, Destiny Bond. Oh my god. So I have to reset because I need Return for Koga. And you might notice I saved in front of Bruno, which means I deleted Return permanently. No. All right. Well, at least we're going to beat Karen here and make it to Lance. I mean, as long as we're smart and just use Sucker Punch instead of Thief the second time, we can actually stall out all the power points of Destiny Bond. So let's take a second, use Thief. All right, it's going to heal. So we're going to use Thief again. And then we're just going to keep going for Sucker Punch. So that's 1 Destiny Bond, 2 Destiny Bonds, 3 Destiny Bonds, 4, 5 Destiny Bonds. And then Focus Blast misses. And now we just have a Vileplume that should be fine, right? Right. We're at level 86, but we have made it to the champion for the very first time. And, oh my god, what am I going to do versus Lance? This is bad. I'm just thinking about this now. I'd been so focused on beating Karen. I never thought about what would happen if I actually had to battle Lance. Alright, let's just see what happens. Well, first things first, he leads with a Gyarados as well, and it has Intimidate, so yeah, we have 50% less attack. Hooray! That means Poison Jab does not one-shot, although we get the poison, so Lance is going to heal. Waterfall does okay damage. It's a physical move now. Lance healing isn't a big deal because we're going to get another opportunity to attack before Lance does, and a critical hit means we can just save a bit of time. But speaking of time save, Lance is about to save some time since I think Aerodactyl is going to destroy me. I'm just going to go for Sucker Punch, and oh, that's doing about half. That's actually really good. It, however, knows Rock Slide, and yeah, oh, we survive. Nice. 7 HP. Surely more than enough than I need to defeat the rest of Lance's 4 Pokemon. Oh, this is going to be so bad. Oh boy, a Charizard, a fire type? Maybe we one-shot. I mean, if it weren't for Intimidate, we actually would. And it doesn't even bother using a fire move. Why would it? Shadow Claw knocks me out. Well, the one nice thing about impossible challenges is I can just save and rebattle Lance as many times as I want. But the result is going to be exactly what you just saw. Pretty much identical to what you just saw. In this battle, I try using Life Orb to deal just a little bit more damage. Didn't make a difference. In fact, I don't even make it past Aerodactyl. In this next one, I equip the Poison Barb, but it also doesn't make too much of a difference. We still don't one-shot Gyarados or come anywhere close. It still heals, resulting in essentially a 3 KO unless I get a crit. Wow, we've been getting lucky with those crits. But Aerodactyl has a chance to knock me out with Rock Slide. Doesn't. And then we just get one-shot by Charizard unless we get a crit, which we don't. Now, the truth is, with better luck, we easily could make it past Charizard, and we're going to get that better luck. Gyarados, same exact thing, except it doesn't heal, so that's kind of nice. But the way more important thing is against Aerodactyl, there is a 6% chance of getting a critical hit, and now we have way more HP for Charizard, which is good. Unfortunately, that doesn't really make too much of a difference. We get a really good Poison Jab with a Poison, but Charizard, as we saw, knows Fire Fang and Air Slash. And while we do survive, and we will make it to Dragonite, that doesn't really help all that much if we're at 12 HP. Oh, and it doesn't even knock it out. Lance heals. Again, not a big deal because it's not going to get another opportunity to attack. So now we make it to Dragonite. And, Okay, that's actually really good that we're doing about half, and it sucks that Fire Blast hit, but with the Citrus Berry, we're not even doing half. It's going to be a 3-hit KO. We need to do more than half. Listen, at the end of the day, I realized here, pausing on the screen, even though I really wanted to keep trying again and again, we need to level up more. There is a level where we would one-shot Charizard, and probably one where we could even one-shot Gyarados. That might be all the way at level 100, which could take a really long time, but at the end of the day, there are 2 more Dragonite where that one came from. It would be nice if we could get a White Herb or something, but like I said, not gettable until Kanto, and that really sucks. So at this point, all I'm doing is battling the Elite Four over and over and over again to gain experience points, and you can really tell as I battle Lance, because I actually run out of poison jabs, and I start resorting to Thief, which makes this Gyarados fight look ridiculous. I actually do beat the Gyarados, but unless I get a crit, I'm not going to knock out Aerodactyl, and I don't. It's all good. And you know what? This is probably a good time to show off what the other Elite Four battles look like now that I'm almost level 90. Will, we don't have much to say about because I'm going to outspeed and one-shot with Poison Jab every single one of his Pokemon. You may notice I have acquired some power point ups. That's important because I'm going to need all 24 power points if I want to consistently make it to Lance. And yes, I'm at the point where I can consistently make it to Lance. What about Koga? Remember how annoying he was? Well, even though I don't have Return anymore, I can use Dig to one-shot Ariados, although it takes 2 turns. Against Crobat, this might stun you, but I can actually use Poison Jab. It deals over half, and I can knock out Crobat with Poison Jab. Wing Attack isn't as scary as it used to be. We can use Dig against Venomoth. Against Fortress, Dig is still a 2-hit KO. It sometimes likes to use Explosion, which is pretty cool, because that makes the battle a lot easier. And I'm just going to speed this up because Bruno is very easy. He has actually gone from difficult Bruno to the easiest battle ever. Why? Because we're just going to outspeed and one-shot every single one of Bruno's Pokemon. The only little bit of variation is that for Onix, we need to use Dig. But even Machamp, we outspeed, we one-shot with Poison Jab. And as for Karen, who was an obstacle for such a long time, now absolute joke. You've already seen that I can one-shot Umbreon with Poison Jab. Murkrow we are one-shotting way long ago. Houndoom I don't even bother using Dig anymore. It wastes a turn. Gengar, Thief now one-shots, which is way better than what I had to do previously. And Vileplume, once again, Poison Jab one-shots. Now at this point I expect to lose to Lance, but I kinda hedge my bets. I save first and we'll use an Ether. This way, if we get a really lucky battle, we can win because we have enough power points, and if we lose to Lance and it looks like I need to level up more, like if we don't one-shot Gyarados or Charizard, well then I can just reset, the Ether is still there, and I can just lose and start the cycle all over again. Now, this battle with Lance, something kind of interesting happens that sometimes happen and I can't explain why. So after we hit Gyarados with Poison Jab, it's actually going to swap out into Aerodactyl after it heals, and I don't understand why it does this. But because it does, Aerodactyl never gets a chance to attack me and so we can knock it out. And this seems kind of good. It's not, but don't worry about it. For right now, it's good to see if we can knock out Charizard in one hit. We don't, and that's not good. In fact, it has quite a bit of health left, meaning I'm probably going to need to level up 5 or 6 more levels. Air Slash has a chance to miss, but once it hits, the battle is over. We are going to make it to Dragonite again, but it hits with Fire Blast and knocks me out. And regardless, I can't win if this happens, because once Gyarados is sent out again, Intimidate will hit me again. And yeah, unless it's the last Pokemon sent out, we wouldn't have enough attack for the last 2 Dragonite. So once I've leveled up, I don't want to see the swap out. By the time I reach level 94, we have a glimmer of hope. We've been hit by Aerodactyl, and Charizard still survives, but on a very small sliver of HP, meaning we're at least close to it potentially being a 1-hit KO, obviously without a critical hit. So at this point, we're all the way at level 96. And we get a critical hit and knock out Gyarados, so that's good for our HP. Against Aerodactyl, Sucker Punch doesn't crit. Rock Slide is doing just over half, which is pretty good. We knock it out, but maybe we'll one-shot Charizard? Yes! No, it was a crit. And unfortunately, we still do decent damage to Dragonite, but 85% chance to hit. It hasn't missed yet. We have still not got past this level 50 Dragonite with Fire Blast. Well, we just keep on beating the Elite Four over and over again. And finally, after we knock out this Vileplume, we're at level 98. I mean, there's only 2 more levels left. So if it's not going to be easy to do now, it's probably just going to require an insane amount of luck. Like I said before, you always save before you heal, before you do anything, because in case you want to reset, you haven't used up any of your PowerPoint restoring items or anything. We obviously want to restore Poison Jab, and let's try for the first time battling Lance at level 98. Alright, so at this point I think it's clear knocking out Gyarados in one shot is a bit of a pipe dream. We do get the poison, and it might knock it out. Waterfall's obviously doing a little less. Unfortunately, poison doesn't knock it out. That means Gyarados is going to heal. That means we could get the switch, and that's not good. All right, we get the hit. Please don't switch. No! At least Aerodactyl can't attack us, but that's actually really bad. Uh-oh. Hilariously, we get a critical hit against Aerodactyl, so I guess it didn't matter anyway. Wonderful. However, I'll be super happy if we one-shot Charizard. Come on! Yes! No! What? Okay, I did not expect it to use Shadow Claw. That was weird. We have a lot of HP. 144. That's not bad. Is this our opportunity? Alright, so we have Fire Blast Dragonite. We already know we're going to do just over half, and... What? What are with these move selections? Safeguard? It's already poisoned due to the Poison Jab, and we're going to knock it out. What is going on? Now we have Gyarados, so we're going to be at half attack, which is wonderful. And yeah, Lance, just waste your full restore. Whatever, I don't care. Actually, that's kind of good. But yeah, I don't think we're going to deal enough damage to the last 2 Dragonites, so very unfortunate. Alright, so level 49 Dragonite comes out, and... Whoa! We got a critical hit. Oh my god, are we going to win? Is it going to happen? The key here is just doing half. Just do half. Yes! Thunder Wave, okay, that means it is going to attack first. Dragon Rush, it hits. We survive. Yes! Yes, we win! Woo! Okay, man. As it turns out, that second Intimidate didn't matter too much. I mean, what's the big difference between doing 75% and 50%? Who cares? It was still a 2-hit KO. This was pretty okay. I mean, yeah, it took me a really long time. I spent over 3 hours with 4 times speed in the Elite Four. But I mean, it's Gen 4 Elite Four with a Spinarak. As the games get more complicated, the AI tends to get a little smarter, less easy to exploit. I mean, I didn't expect this to be a cakewalk by any means. But we're almost at the 1 hour mark, and at this point, if we want to get this video done in a reasonable time, I'm going to have to speedrun the 8 Kanto gyms. Let me say for the most part they're really easy, but there are a couple exceptions. Just because it's fun, I'm going to try and go in the Kanto order. So we're going to do Brock first. I'm going to use Dig against Graveler. Even with a Defense Curl, it's a one-shot. Rhyhorn comes out next. I'm going to use Dig. It's going to one-shot. That's pretty good. 2 down. Omastar, we're going to use Dig. Thankfully, protected turn 1. It is not a one-shot. Ancient Power does a ton of damage. I go for Poison Jab. It's poison. I'm going to go for Dig, but it withdraws into Kabutops, and we do one-shot Kabutops. That probably will result in a victory. Yeah, poison, Dig, we knock out Omastar. Now we're at level 100, and thankfully, Brock's ace in this game is an Onix to kind of coincide with the anime, and Onix stands no chance against Spinarak. That was the gym leader I was 3rd most concerned about, and it wasn't too bad. First try victory. Misty, on the other hand, I wasn't concerned about at all. She has only 4 Pokemon, leads with Golduck, Poison Jab, Outspeed, one-shot. Quagsire resists Poison Jab. I'm going to go for Dig, and we don't quite one-shot. Thankfully, it went for Amnesia, so we can knock out Quagsire. Lapras is pretty bulky. I'm going to go for Poison Jab. Doesn't knock it out. Thankfully, Ice Beam doesn't freeze. Misuses a full restore, but it's too little, too late. We're going to get 2 opportunities to attack it. Another full restore doesn't really matter. And in fact, Poison's actually going to knock it out. Now we have Starmie. I went for Sucker Punch. That was pretty silly because it went for Confuse Ray. And thankfully, I don't hit myself in confusion the second time, and I'm able to knock out the Starmie with Sucker Punch. Next, we have Surge, who I haven't battled yet, so I can't make fun of him. He leads with Raichu. I go for Poison Jab, and static hits. That's pretty annoying. Next comes out Electrode. I went for Sucker Punch and try to hit with Poison Jab, but I just keep missing. Eventually, I hit and knock out Electrode. Electabuzz would outspeed me. I go for Sucker Punch, knock it out. Next, Electrode. I go for Sucker Punch. I outspeed and knock it out. Finally, we get Magneton. I'm going to have to go for Dig. It goes for Double Team twice. I miss with Dig. Please hit. I do. That is Lieutenant Surge. And you guys know this isn't a red and blue video because I'm not forgetting Erica. Now, I'm going to be honest. I absolutely hate this little maze thing they put in her gym. It's so unnecessary. Just have me battle the gym leader. I don't need to go through a trial and tribulation. Anyway, she's the grass type gym leader. We're going to outspeed in one-shot Jumpluff. Victory Bell is poison type, but we still outspeed in one shot with Poison Jab. Tangela, not Tangrowth. Easy outspeed, easy one shot. Blossom is her ace. Unfortunately, it's a grass type. And we have defeated Erica. Now we move on to Koga's daughter, Janine, since he's in the Elite Four. She's typically the easiest, but her Pokemon are a little buffed. Unfortunately, Crobat proves to be pretty annoying, going for Screech and then Confuse Ray. It then goes for Wing Attack and nearly knocks me out, so I almost lost to frickin' fake Koga. Thankfully, I'm out of confusion. I one-shot Ariados with Dig. Venomoth does use Double Team 3 times, but I'm able to knock it out with Dig. Weezing cannot be hit by Dig, so I have to go for Poison Jab. It goes for double hit. I'm only at 65 HP. Ariados number 2 comes out. I go for Dig. I knock it out. These aren't level 30 Pokemon, but I was able to defeat her. So yeah, HeartGold SoulSilver definitely did a good job buffing some of the weaker gym leaders, but still pretty easy. Speaking of weaker gym leaders, shockingly, Sabrina should be extremely easy with Sucker Punch. She leads with Espeon. I accidentally go for Poison Jab, and it doesn't knock me out. That's actually pretty surprising. Now I'm not going to misclick. I go for Sucker Punch. It one-shots Mr. Mime. And Alakazam hopefully goes for an attack. It does. I one-shot with Sucker Punch. I almost jinxed myself there, but hey, I even survived Psychic by an Espeon. Not bad. But this was the gym leader I was most concerned about, Blaine, the Fire-type gym leader. By using Thief against Blaine's Pokemon, you can get a White Herb. I don't really think I need one. Blue has an Arcanine, but in Gold and Silver it comes out last, so we should be okay. Unfortunately, you have to battle a bunch of trainers in this gym. It's really annoying, but we'll skip that. Alright, so Blaine has 3 Pokemon. Macargo is double weak to Dig. I'm going to go for Thief and steal its White Herb, and it went for Sunny Day. Let's go. Alright, Dig knocks out Macargo. Next, we have Magmar. I'm going to go for Dig. Overheat misses, and we knock out Magmar. Oh my god, this is really good. Now we have Rapidash. No, it outspeeds Overheat. No. Ah, darn it. Alright, well, this could take a really long time since I have a whole bunch of Pokemon. I saved before Blaine, right? I saved before Blaine. No! Oh my god. Alright, this time I'm going to save in front of Blaine. Look at that. And I don't know what I'm going to do here, actually. How do I defeat the Rapidash? Well, I'm going to go for Thief, steal the White Herb, and oh yeah, Flame Body. Forgot that can happen. It's a 30% chance if you use a move that makes contact. So let's just try that again. We're going to go for Dig. Don't even worry about the White Herb. I don't think I need it. And Flame Body. Do we knock out the Magmar in one hit with Flame Body? No, we don't. Great. All right, so there's some RNG in this fight. Hooray. Well, after getting burned in literally 10 consecutive battles, I finally get one where Blaine doesn't burn me. I mean, 30% chance, but it was 100%. It's crazy. I also have the Life Orb equipped, and you'll see why in just a second. Because Rapidash, we can use Sucker Punch with Life Orb, and it knocks it out. Unfortunately, that means we couldn't steal the White Herb, but that shouldn't be too big a deal, right? Alright, well in this version, Blue leads with Executor. That's going to be pretty easy. Outspeed with Poison Jab, 1 down. But, oh no, here's our Arcanine. Uh-oh. This should be a one-shot with Dig though, right? It's super effective. Right? Right? No. No. Oh my, what do I do? If that's not a range, then I can't level up anymore. The EV reducing berries, there are some of them maybe I could use. Oh no. All right, so I tried a few more times, and I hate to break this to you guys. It's not a range. Even with Life Orb, with my current stats, you cannot knock out this Arcanine. If we had a White Herb, it would be trivial. But I couldn't get White Herb since I had Life Orb, right? Wrong. All I would have needed to do is steal the White Herb, faint, and then come back. Instead, I, for some reason, just decided not to get it, and now I'm going to be freaking stuck against this Arcanine. There is one other way of getting a White Herb, though. I really didn't want to have to do this, but I knew it was a possibility. You see, on Route 40, just west of Olivine City, you can go to the Battle Frontier. Because even though I don't consider this post-game, the game clearly does, because the Battle Frontier is open. And there is a facility in the Battle Frontier that only requires the use of one Pokemon. May I introduce to you the Battle Hall? How does the Battle Hall work? Well, the way it works is simple. You pick one Pokemon, and then you get to battle one Pokemon from whatever type you select. They start with rank 1, which are weak Pokemon, lower than your level, and fairly low stats. You can beat 10 Pokemon very easily. And once you do that, you gain battle points. You need 32 battle points in order to get a White Herb. How many battle points do you think you get for a winning streak of 10 in this facility? I'll give you the answer. It's 1. So in theory, I'm going to need to win 320 battles. Now, the way it's supposed to work is as you get deeper and deeper into the challenge, the number of battle points awarded increases. The problem is I can't get that far into a challenge because I have a Spinarak. And eventually, the Pokemon get higher and higher level, stronger and stronger, and a Spinarak is unable to go against even level 80 Pokemon that are fully evolved, especially ones that it doesn't have a good matchup against. So, yes, I essentially had to battle 320 times, which isn't even true, because oftentimes I would lose in the middle of a run, and if you lose before you get a win streak of 10, you don't get any points. So I probably had about 500 battles. There are a couple bonus points you get for certain streaks, but yeah, while I am grateful there's a facility that only requires one Pokemon, so we're not breaking our rules whatsoever, this was one of the most tedious things I've ever done in my entire life. Perhaps only beaten by the time I decided to knock out 96 Ralts in order to EV train. Say what you will about me, but I am dedicated to getting the most out of these challenges. And the truth is, thinking back, I probably didn't even need to do this. I could have gotten some shards and probably gotten the EV reducing berries, and that probably would have worked. But I only realized that after the fact, once I'd gotten like 27 battle points, and by that point, sunk cost fallacy. Oh god. Long story short, 3 hours later, I battle blue and I have the White Herb. Executor was never a problem, and I'm just curious whether Poison Jab would knock out Arcanine. I'm gonna use it. The answer is no, it wouldn't. Hooray. After all that, I can't even say I got a first try victory. Wonderful. Okay, so let's knock out Executor. Perfect. This time, let's go for Dig. So we're gonna hit Dig, it's gonna miss, and perfect. All right, next is Rhydon. I'm gonna go for Dig, it misses with Stone Edge, and uh-oh. All right, we survive. We survive. That's good. I might have gone really quiet. Uh-oh. Oh, come on. Come on. All right, I have an idea. I have an idea. Executor, we're gonna knock out in one hit. We've already seen that, and you might already notice what my idea is, but if not, don't worry about it. Arcanine, we're going to go for Dig. You may have seen, but if you haven't, it's going to show up in just a second. We talk Giga Drain, and... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Really? Really? I mean, thankfully, we're actually going to gain all our health back. And it was a range. Wonderful. So that's great. Now is Pidgeot. Please one-shot. Nope. Oh, Whirlwind. No! Okay, come on. All right, we knocked out Pidgeot with Poison Jab. Machamp, please one-shot. Perfect. And oh my god, he has a Gyarados? Okay, I didn't even know that. Poison Jab, Dragon Dance. I'm going to go for Sucker Punch here. No! There's Waterfall. Oh my god, we survive? Please? Yes! Wow. Oh my. I was worried about Blue. His team is definitely better this time around. That was a nightmare. And it's nothing compared to what we're about to face. Red. With a level 87 Pikachu. We're not even over leveled anymore. As high a level as they were in Gold and Silver, they're even higher level. Gone is Espeon. Lapras, which is even better. I don't know, guys. I actually don't know about this. I mean, we've never given up on a challenge before. So we're going to find a way. But let's see what it's like to battle Red. Alright, so he leads with his level 87 Pikachu, which we outspeed with Sucker Punch and... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Do we outspeed without Sucker Punch? I can just use Poison Jab, right? Uh-oh. Guys, I think we're in trouble. Well, I can use Quick Claw, and if it activates, it's a 20% chance of doing so. We can knock out Pikachu. But now out comes Charizard. We don't outspeed. Sucker Punch does nothing and it one-shots. But okay. What if we get 2 Quick Claw activations? Maybe that could work with Poison Jab? Well, let me give you the bad news. It doesn't. At this point, I had resorted to using save states not to get a victory, just to kind of see what this battle would be like. Unfortunately, save states don't really work in HeartGold SoulSilver, which is so ironic because I never use save states. I thought it'd be useful to try and get different results and see what I would need to have happen in order to win. Kind of get a perfect battle and then try to do what I could to get as close to that as possible. Unfortunately, I have no idea how to change the RNG. I'm sure some of you will know, but it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, what I realized is that Poison Jab doesn't even do half. So even if I were able to manipulate a critical hit, I would need something like an Air Slash Miss. And I want to talk about the odds of what I'm proposing even without the Air Slash Miss. So you multiply the 20% chance Quick Claw activates by another 20% chance Quick Claw activates by the 6.25% chance that you get a critical hit. It's 1 in 400 odds. But wait, we also would need Air Slash to miss. So even assuming it always went for Air Slash, which it won't, that's a mere 5% chance, so we have 1 in 8,000 odds, but it's actually 1 in 16,000 odds, because there's still a 50% chance it goes for Flare Blitz. Uh-oh. But okay, you guys have heard this before. I act like it's totally impossible, there's no way of defeating it, and then I come up with some absurd strategy that never should work, maybe requires luck, totally unconventional, but gets the job done. That's what's going to happen here, right? Right? No, it's not. The run's over. We lose. I mean, theoretically, there is a way to win, I promise you. But after over 150 failed attempts, where I never even made it past Charizard, let alone the 4 remaining Pokemon, I'm going to tell you right now, I do not beat Pokemon HeartGold with just a Spinarak. I don't. And in order to understand why, let's talk about the way that you could do this and the problems we're facing. So right now, our biggest problems are twofold. Number 1, our Spinarak is too slow. Pikachu, Charizard, they all outspeed. Number 2, our Spinarak doesn't deal enough damage. Now, this could be resolved if we used a much better Spinarak. So my Spinarak's IVs look like this. Remember that 0 is the worst and 31 is the best. At low levels, it's very difficult to know what your IVs are going to be, and while I could do this, I don't use a cheating device to tell me what my IVs are. because that's just not representative of how people actually play this game. I also know there are ways of manipulating the RNG to get a completely perfect Pokemon, but again, that just isn't something I've ever done before, and I feel like goes against the spirit of my runs. With a completely perfect Spinarak, however, we could outspeed every Pokemon other than Pikachu, and with better attack, we would maybe be able to knock out Charizard in 2 hits, which is good. The problem is, we can't really afford to get hit. So you might see that I'm going for a strategy involving Double Team, Attract, and I'm trying to set up as many as possible. And it seems like it's a really good strategy, and to be honest, it probably is the best strategy. But, and I'll admit, math is not my strength. I had to ask people much better at math than myself, what is the best way I could possibly beat this game with Spinarak? They gave me a strategy that at best is 1 in thousands. What we decided to do was to create a perfect Spinarak with maximum IVs in everything. And in terms of its EVs, which help buff individual stats, you can put up to 252 in a stat, 510 total. We invested maximum in HP and in attack, which seems weird. Wouldn't you want more speed? But that's not the strat. The strat is to have agility, Double Team, Sunny Day, we'll talk about that in a second, and Poison Jab. Against Pikachu, we are going to have Bright Powder equipped, and there will be a 10% chance it will miss with one of its attacks. With this perfect Spinarak, Thunderbolt won't always one-shot, but Volt Tackle will. Regardless, there is a 10% chance that Bright Powder, which we can get, will cause a miss, and we can set up 6 Double Teams. I'm still not sure if 5 or 6 are optimal, but the strategy I was given uses 6 Double Teams. On turn 1, we use Agility. That will allow my Spinarak to outspeed everything, even with no investment in speed, and then we spam Double Team 6 times. From what I understand, the chance of all of that happening, plus not getting hit by static, which is a 70% chance, is around 1 in 600. That will get us to the Charizard. Thanks to the hail, both Charizard and Venusaur should be 2 KOs, meaning they only have 1 opportunity to attack us. Blastoise should have 2, Lapras should have 2, and Snorlax should also have 2. The problem with some of those Pokemon is that they know Blizzard, which ignores my Double Teams in hail, which is why I need to use Sunny Day, taking an extra turn. I should only need to use Sunny Day twice. If all my math is correct, and this strategy were to be implemented, it would give me a 1 in, and I'm not kidding about this, 11,111 chance of beating Red with just a Spinarak. And again, that's assuming I used a perfect Spinarak that I do not have with perfect EV investment, which is very hard to do. Especially because not all the EV reducing berries are buyable. Some of them you need to go to the Battle Frontier. And we already talked about how horrible that would be. Now, I want to be fair here. These odds assume that anything that hits me will one-shot me, and I can tell you that's not the case. There are moves where we can be hit just one time and be fine. So, I don't know, what, do we divide the odds in half and say 1 in 6,000 or something? Like I said, math is not my strong suit, but I can tell you right now, I never even got past the Pikachu section, and I tried pretty hard. After about 3 hours, I realized that even if I was able to do all this, I wouldn't really feel satisfied, because at the end of the day, I didn't win due to some great strategy or something. I mean, the best analogy I could give is you could spend a long time solving a puzzle, or you could throw all the pieces at the wall enough times, and in one instance, they could all just fall into the perfect place. That's not fun. You didn't really do that. It just kind of happened and you were there. And sure, you threw it at the wall, but you didn't really solve it. And in my opinion, this puzzle is simply not solvable without throwing it at the wall. The amount of luck you need is just way too high, and I could probably spend weeks on this challenge and never beat it. And so I won't. We're going to end the challenge with me saying that red is possible, but you're never going to see me do it. I understand that might be very frustrating to some of you, but at the end of the day, for me, these videos really aren't about the destination. We've won every single one. It's been about the journey, the story. And Spinarak's story ends at red. If someone wants to do a tool-assisted run and show how it's theoretically possible, by all means, I already know it is. But would it be representative of a normal playthrough? 100% no. I thought long and hard about releasing this video, so I hope you guys liked it in spite of the fact we weren't able to win. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, that's alright. I do think Leddyba should be possible because of a couple of things, so maybe I'll try that. But until then, this was a super long video. Take care, everyone.